Welcome folks. Today I have a very short video for you. It's about microclimate and peaches. Those are the last two peaches we have on our Red Haven tree. We kind of got to pick them and they got overripe to the point that their skin is now splitting and they're dripping sugary juice everywhere. You can see here I peeled the skin while trying to get it out of the tree. It's a perfectly ripe peach. It just melts in your mouth and super sweet. But what's more interesting about those peaches is that you're not supposed to grow peaches here in our village. Our village is situated at about 650 meters above sea level, which is about 2000 feet in American Fairyland units. So we're basically a high latitude valley locked in between 3 or 4 mountains. So we have cold winters, nighttime temperatures drop down to -15 regularly, and we have -20 a few years ago. But that's not the bigger problem. The bigger problem is that we have very late frosts. So trees like the peach and also the apricot, the almond, but also most of the other fruit trees, they suffer from the late colds, late frosts. For example, last year we had -4 degrees on May the 7th, and this year we had -4 degrees on April the 20th, when we also got some snowfall, and the peach tree was already in bloom because it's one of the first trees to bloom here. But how did we get to have about 30 peaches on that little tree? The main reason is up here. You can see that there's some sort of a canopy above the peach, which is mostly black locust. You can see the seed pods now forming here, but also mulberry and the occasional elm tree. So you can see that the tree is deliberately situated that way so that it's sheltered upwards and from the north being the fence line, and all the cold northern winds are stopped by the mulberries growing here like a bush, and also the black locust. Of course, they have less leaves in early spring, but even though the vegetation is more sparse, it's still enough to allow some of the flowers of the peach to remain. And that was demonstrated this year very nicely with those two cherries. This cherry is a later variety which blooms later, so we thought that there won't be much damage on the flowers, on the flower buds which were just opening. And this one is earlier variety, and it's again sheltered from the canopy up top. But after the frost and the snow were gone, a closer inspection showed that there was much frost damage on the left side cherry. Maybe more than 60% of the flowers were damaged and they fell off, while this one, even if it's smaller, it kept most of its flowers, and especially those higher up where the two crowns seem to mix here with the mulberry. So we managed to pick quite a lot of cherries from this small tree, and not that much from that one. And also the peach was a great example, because nobody of our neighbors has a producing peach, with the exception of a very late September ripening variety, which is meant more for canning, and it's not as good for fresh eating as we prefer it. So in conclusion, you can see that even such a small detail of a partial overhanging canopy can provide shelter for the trees, and probably even save your harvest in some extreme cold events in very early spring. That's all from me, and I'll see you in the next one.